welcome back once again. What a performance by Junior Tuskers back in China in their own Asia Under-19 Rugby Championship Division 1 category. Once again Sri Lanka securing that championship title and promoting to play in the top tier next year in 2020. Hong Kong won the competition and in the tier 1. As a result, they will be playing the Junior World Rugby Trophy in Spain next year. But coming back to Sri Lanka's sensational performance, let's have a look at few key analysis. At the start of that first game versus China, Sri Lanka defense was rushing immensely, and look at where China, from that opposite 10-meter line, they were driven backwards to 20 meters to their defensive work, their defensive line. So again, from this incident, you can see they were trying to use that decoy running. They are a forwards team, but they are trying to work their backs at the initial stage, and great turnover in that far corner by Sri Lanka, which was sensational. So these are the little things went wrong at the initial stage for China. But first, let's hear from Coach Viper Gunaratne what he has to say.
It was a team effect altogether, and my coaching panel consistent of Rajeew, Perera and Rohitha, Rajapaksa was very supportive, and we had a policy at the breakdown not to commit too many people, so we only contested with 3 against their numbers, and that is also, if we are not sure about it, we let it go and we fought the second breakdown. So that way we didn't commit many numbers in the breakdown. That worked to a certain extent. They were trying to play with their forwards, and they were coming at us all the time. But we managed to hold them. So our main aim was to win the breakdown and spread the game, play outside channels with our faster backs and constantly changing direction and lot of cut-out passes, and we send the ball to the wing and then we brought it back to the other corner, so tiring their forwards. So we actually did a lot of cardio work before that. To that play that type of a game, you need a lot of fitness. So Thulaib Hassen's leadership was excellent, and players were very committed and disciplined. That is how we won the tournament actually, and this is a very positive go forward for Sri Lankan rugby. I hope administrators will take a lesson out of this and make our country proud, because we have proven that we have talent to go outside and play good rugby. All in all, it was a victory for our rugby and small country. Thank you very much.
That's some great size by the veteran coach. Of course, Thulaib Hassen led and marshaled these troops really well, and also combining with a great coaching teamwork. Some may argue that it is just Division 1, we might win in big. Obviously we did actually, but in terms of preparation, what Sri Lanka always lacks when there's a tournament just 2 or 3 weeks before we go into a tournament, which is not right. So the preparation time. The schools team, these all school stars, they finished the league in July and they have to wait 4 months of doing nothing. So that's a great testimonial and great preparation in that short time of span. And let's have a look at this again. Sri Lanka was absolutely good in the power play forwards. They really compared one-on-one situation, and like Coach Viper said, they are not really going into the much breakdown. There's just one man or just 2 men are going to secure that breakdown. You can see Sri Lanka quite decently won few breakdowns as well, and as you can see, some great forwards play coming in, and also for talking about forwards play, let's ask about Coach Rajeew Perera what he had to say about this game.
Well, firstly, I must say it was a very big challenge for us to prepare ourselves within a very short period for this tournament, and we all knew that China is a bit very quite big side, and physically they are very strong. So I had to do a lot with the boys, especially their skill levels at scrums and lineouts. And also I'm very happy to say that they dominate at both set pieces, and also even especially at the breakdowns, very good collusions, and Uh, Apart from that, if we talk about the performance of the boys, I think Ogbebo had a really good game, and also why I mentioned about him is there was some doubts when I bought him as a number 8. So my answer was like he's the fittest, and he's very quick at the breakdowns, and also he's very quick on getting out of the scrum. So I think he did best for us, and well, I think the forwards contribute at their best for the victory.
Well, that is interesting call to put Ogbebo on the number 8. We'll have a look at his work rate, but again, like Raju said, they were really working hard. It's a clear mismatch, which is quite normal in terms of conditioning. That's another turnover in the line-out. Again, look at the work rate, how our Junior Tuskers were. Robin Fernando was outstanding. Again, the combination, lovely inside pass coming in. Sri Lanka just dominated position after position after position, and it took China in the second half to come back to the game. They started 2 quick tries, but again, look at this driving ball. It's clear mismatch in terms of pack weight and the line weight, but a lovely stealer and all the way for the try by Sri Lanka. Again, another breakdown battle. Sri Lanka managed to win, and here's another line out drive. As you can see, great pressure coming in, trying to go to that lower center of gravity, and look at the distance the boys carried through, nearly 15 to 20 meters. Would you believe that? Maybe you might argue that China is very poor, but no, it's always tough to play in their own day. And again, another driving line out. Ogbebo, technically, he's quite handsomely staying a bit, taking a bit time, not too much time. You can't really allow the penalty will go to the opposite team. But he has so much tactful, excellent work by the coaching staff, giving the real knowledge about it. So the forwards play was really outstanding as we witnessed. It was such a thrill to watch that game. And again, talking about the backs coming into that turnovers, as you can see. Again, in the scrum, Sri Lanka putting so much pressure. But here, Robin Fernando, he missed the player, and lovely ankle tap to put the player down. But to keep Philippines scoreless, which was really outstanding, isn't it? We didn't expect that coming in, because Philippines, they drew with Thailand in their first game, and it went to the shootouts, and through the shootouts they managed to pull over that victory. As a result, they faced Sri Lanka, and Thailand faced China in the third and fourth championship. So talking about these backs more, again, Sri Lanka backs used their width of the field really well. Their understanding was really well, which is quite brilliant, and that try came as well. So also Warren Virakon also trying to put his power. We saw him playing well in that Trinity College colours. First, before that, let's find out from Rohitha Rajapaksa, the backs coach, what he had to say.
So my first national job as coach was a successful tour. First we faced Chinese team, and our main challenge was to outspeed them from the corners with using the 3 quarters, because I think we had the more faster side when compared to the size, because they had a very big side. So anyway, to counter their centers, we put our biggest 2 boys in the centers, Thulaib and Manika. So they actually played pretty well, and we hammered from the middle, and then we spread the ball wide. So that was our main strength when it came to the Chinese game. And moving on to the Philippines game, it is a similar strategy, but their 3 quarters were nippy and quite equivalent to our speeds. So we had to utilize more power than speed in the corners. So we used Warren Virakon on the corner, and Thulaib and Manika, as the previous game, we hit them up front, and we used a lot of forward play. So I would like to thank Pekka, Viper sir and Castro sir for being amazing and very supportive throughout, and it was a pretty much of a combined effort to win the trophy. So yeah, it was a good win, good tournament, and hope like this team we could continue for the future, and even under 23 tournaments we have to play a lot of tournaments, and because we always tend to be backwards when it comes to tournaments. So I think we should carry forward this same team when it going to the main national level as well, if we are to succeed in the future, the future of this sport. So that's about it, and thanks for the support and the love that all the Sri Lankans have given towards us, and hopefully we will bring more and more trophies in the future.
And talking about the work rate, let's have a look at this, how Sri Lanka dominated this China game, especially inside their red zone. As you can see on your screen, clear domination, entries into red zone, 11 times Sri Lanka entered and China only entered 8 times. Faces in red zone, as you can see, 27 faces Sri Lanka created, but China made 36 faces, so our defense was really good in that occasion. And so also points scored in the red zone, Sri Lanka scored 34 points. Sri Lanka scored 34 points and China just scored 10 in that red zone. Also talking about the efficiency, 3.1 to 1.3, that's quite clear. And the line out, one lost combination, as you can clearly see, Sri Lanka on the strong hand, especially also convincing about the scrum on 6 and China won 4, which was quite outstanding in that game. Now here's some stat in that Philippines game. Once again Sri Lanka dominated, of course, in the red zone. Sri Lanka, every time they went, they came with points, or most of the time they came with points. As you can see, entries to red zone 12 versus 7, and Philippines, out of those 7 they couldn't score a single try. And faces 50 to 19, and also red zone efficiency 1.5 to 0%, which was outstanding. Lineouts won 10, Sri Lanka just lost one overthrown lineout, and the scrum Sri Lanka 10 out of 10, and Philippines also winning 9 scrums. So that's quite a lot of scrum in a game of under 19. Yes, this is what schoolboys is about, but overall it was a fine performance by Sri Lanka team. Here's the try coming from the skipper. We have seen plenty of time he's been scoring that individual solo try in that blue and gold jersey for Royal College. And here's what Thulaib Hassen, the man who scored that try, had to say about the team. Actually, he led the team really well, former Royal captain. Let's hear from him.
So we didn't have much time before the game, before the tournament actually, because after we selected the team, we had only selected squad actually. We had only 2.5 weeks before the tournament, but we successfully became champions because of the boys' commitments and how they trained at practice. They just didn't train; they trained to win, and I think that paid off as much as in the match as well. And I would like to say that the coaching staff supported us greatly, and they put their commitments and sacrifices as well as we went on our journey. And I consider this more as a family than a team, and that's what I think is one of our main strengths, how the boys gelled really well together with the coaching staff. So I think that's the main reason for our success.
Well, that's some encouraging work. They train like a family, and this is more like a family than a team, which is a great words by the captain Thulaib Hassen. So a wonderful game beating China and Philippines and becoming champions once again. We wish Sri Lanka team, the Junior Tuskers, next year they are playing in the top tier along with South Korea and Hong Kong, and we wish them all the very best.